Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys in California. Before I begin, I'm going to give all praise to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledge Yahweh Shai. I pray the Most High bless this lesson this evening. Gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past in order to understand that are currently happening on the earth. So we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. All of you who are part of these Christian, Catholic, and any other religion are going to suffer with your Pope, your pastors, and your priests. You guys walk around with a Bible that you know nothing about, that has nothing to do with you. That Bible was talking about the people over here on Turtle Island, which you can call the Middle West. The ancient ones were over here in the West. So you had to make up a fake Middle East. Where are all the ancient people and the ancient information, ancient understanding that were present in the Middle East? See, you guys didn't have any of this knowledge or understanding until you came to the West and stole information and then made up a fake Middle East. And it's really evident that no prophecy has anything to do with what's going on over there in the Middle East. You're trying to act like Iran has something to do with prophecy, and they don't. You're trying to make it sound like Ish has something to do with prophecy, and they don't. Russia, they don't. Europe over there, they don't. Because there is no knowledge and no understanding over there. They are trying to act as if the West is bringing all of this destruction on the earth, all this confusion on the earth. But all the confusion has come from the East. It has come from the three parts. It did not come from the West. We were the ones who were giving people knowledge and understanding. And you guys wanted to be us so bad that you stole all of our knowledge, stole all of our information, and acted like it was yours. Now I'm going to show you something right now. It's going to be a quick video right now. If you look into your Apocrypha and you look at the book of Baruch, take a look real quick. Pause the video, maybe take a look real fast if you don't know, and see how many books are in the book of Baruch. Take a look and see how many different chapters are in the book of Baruch, in the Apocrypha. After you look, you're going to see that there's 5. There's 5 chapters. Okay? Now I want to show you something. Now look, we got all these supposed Hebrew Israelites who, they act like they're so badass and they're so against the grain and whatever else, but they still allow the Catholic Church to dictate what they read and apparently how they, interpret what they're reading, because they're still talking about Jacob's trouble coming in the future, and let these Gentiles hide the fact that they already brought Jacob's trouble to the Israelites that were here on Turtle Island on the 4th part. Hence why nobody still touches Revelation 6 and 8. No one proves that the Most High only said we could read 66 books, 80 books. But we're going to show you a little something right now. Going to take a look at the Gnostics and their remains. So you start looking here at the top. There are appointed in each one of the signs 3 decani. Okay? Those are the decans that are in each of the signs. Okay? Of different forms. One holding an axe. The others represented variously. These figures engraved in rings are amulets against all mischance. As Tusser asserts, with other great astrologers of his times, again, these people, he's talking about they were great astrologers. They weren't great astrologers. They stole all of our information again from us. We are the great astrologers. Okay? This, alas, too scanty notice of their attributes shows at least one of their number to be the old Babylonian god described by the prophet Baruch in Epistle 13, okay, 1 through 4. I don't know what your epistle that is, because it doesn't say anything about Epistle 13 when you're going to the book of Baruch, chapters 1 through 5. It says, he hath a scepter in his hand, like a man, like a judge of the kingdom. He hath in his hand a sword and an axe. But not merely the decani of the signs were thus worn in rings, but equally so the signs themselves and the stars rising together with them. Okay, now I'm not going to get into all this right now. I just wanted you to see that it's talking about Baruch and an Epistle 13 and 14, which if you look in the book, it's only, chapters 1 through 5. So I had to take a little look here. It says Baruch, he hath a scepter, refers to passages in the book of Baruch, specifically Baruch chapter 6. Well, in our Bibles, there is no Baruch chapter 6. So let's show you how conniving these Catholics have been. That mock Babylonian gods, stating they hold scepters like a judge, but have no real power. Contrasting them with the true power, okay, who has ultimate authority. And also echoes them themes, okay, from the prophetic promise of Judah's enduring royal line, the scepter. Now these guys got the scepter for a time, right? These other gods and these Gentiles got the scepter for a time. But we understand that from the Genesis and other prophets, the phrase highlights the false authority of idols versus divine rule, often, okay, using the scepter as a symbol of power, okay, that idols lack. So we're talking about this whole scepter thing, but again, the main thing I'm looking at is the fact that it says specifically Baruch 6. Now, if you keep on going, a symbolism of the scepter. Scepter symbolizes royal authority, power, and kingship in ancient Near Eastern cultures, including the Bible. Prophecies like Genesis 49 and 10 foretell that a scepter representing royalty and rule shall not depart from Judah, pointing to a lasting dynasty. And that's exactly what we have, a lasting dynasty. Okay? So if you look this up, you're going to realize that there is a Baruch chapter 6. But let me show you where it's at. You see Baruch right there? If you take a look at the letter of Jeremiah, it is one chapter. The letter of Jeremiah is one chapter. And it's really Baruch chapter 6. Because when you go to letter of Jeremiah 1 and you go to 13 and 14, you'll start to see what they were talking about. And it starts at 14. It says, and he that cannot put to death one that offendeth him holdeth a scepter. And though he were a judge of the country, he hath also in his right hand a dagger and an axe. And then the next part it says, but cannot deliver himself from war and thieves. So I just wanted you to see that there is a Baruch chapter 6, but it was hidden by the Catholics under the letter of Jeremiah. But our people are supposed to believe that these Catholics are telling the truth and that they're not hiding anything. As you can see right here, you could have put Baruch chapter 6 and just left out letter of Jeremiah, but they did that on purpose. Again, to hide information and understanding. To hide the fact that, yes, you guys had a scepter, and you guys are following the gods that have no power, that have been set up to lead you astray. And that the scepter has returned back to Judah and the Israelites. That is what that was all going on. But see, they want to hide the fact that, you guys have been praying to other spirits, but these spirits were set up to lead you astray. I'm going to get into that some more. And as you can see right now, you have been led astray. Look at your world right now. Look at your world right now. Your churches have nothing for you. No one's going to come in and try to prove me wrong. No one's going to come and try to say that's wrong, Big Judah. That's not right. That's not Baruch 6. They're not going to do any of that. They're just going to keep on just listening to whatever the Catholics say, no matter how much information we bring, like Acts 29, showing how Paul went and met with the Druids and said that those were his brothers. The Druids were Israelites. Just like Revelation 6 and 8, and we talk about that being the fourth part, and not one group or person comes to try to prove it wrong. But you still listen to only reading 66 books, maybe 80, maybe whatever, 70. You limit yourself because of man. Man has limited you. And Most High has given you more and more, proof that these men have been leading you astray. These spirits have been on these men in these high positions to lead you astray, and you don't even fight for your salvation. You don't even fight to prove your church's right. You say nothing. You just sacrifice your children to the churches and allow them to do whatever they want to your children and you as well. So I just wanted to show you that real quick, because look, how many times do I have to show you guys that these guys are lying about this, they're covering that up, they're covering this up, just like they're trying their best to cover their fall. Tomorrow is going to be the 40th day from when I was at in Maui, and I was manifesting for our nation. We know the number 4 is very important. We know we reckon in 4s, 40s, 400. So be on the lookout for another huge event tomorrow. Because, you see, these spirits that you guys think that you other nations control, or that work for you, these planets and, these decans and everything else, they don't work with you. They work with us. The only reason it appeared that they were working with you was because we were going through our curses. We were going through our curses. That's the only reason that it looked like these entities, these spirits, were helping you. They were working against us because it was our time to go through punishment. But see, now what's happening, to understand, just look, you guys used Pluto in 1776 to establish America. But ultimately, that was for our benefit, because we had to go through the curses. You had to be blessed for a time, and that's why that happened. It wasn't that Pluto was really going out of its way to work for you. It's because it was working against us. Last year, January 10th, we used Pluto for us. And now look at what's happened to you a year later. Trust and believe, you guys have been praying to go back to some type of normalcy, to go back into rulership. There's billions of you guys been praying for that. Has it happened? Absolutely not. Because those spirits that you were praying to were not for your turn. Well, they were for your turn for that time, but only because they were going against us. But in actuality, they work for us. They work with us. And now you're seeing how they're working with us. 15 days after December 4th, when I went and manifested, see, Atlas came close. 30 days, America went into Venezuela. And the thing is that was such a huge sign, because that showed you that the dollar is done. If they had the power and the clout, they would just buy oil. They would be able to, manipulate the world to come back to the dollar. They would be able to, have people just pay for the oil, pay for the things that they need. Keep on, selling debt. That was a huge sign that they cannot sell debt anymore. So now they're resulting to stealing oil, stealing gold, stealing silver, and in piracy, going and, jacking ships because they can't buy it anymore. And they were talking about how this is like, the steps of falling empires. It happened to the Dutch, it happened to the English, it happened to the Romans, and now it's happening here. I said, it's happening to all of you. You guys are acting like you guys are all something different. You guys are all nothing but Edomites. You guys are all nothing but working on the left-hand side. And you've been used to come against the Israelites for a time, and now the bill is due. And now all of a sudden there's stuff going on with, now they're moving back to away from paper and back to commodities backed with silver and gold, which is going to destroy the dollar even faster. And they have so much money, paper money out there, paper dollars out there, that they can't even imagine trying to get that much silver and gold to back all these dollars. So now they have been reduced to trying to steal everything. Piracy. And that's a huge sign for the end of a world power. But you guys all are trying to make it sound like it's the West, it's the West, it's the West. It's the East. It's all of you. It's Psalms 83. It is the end of your reign. It is the end of your opportunity to destroy the Israelites and steal, all their resources in their land and their identity. I am here standing boldly in front of all those that have, done me and my people harm, telling you that you guys are nothing until your time is done. So again, this is another huge piece of the puzzle, just showing you again how these people have hidden Baruch chapter 6. They changed the chapters, they changed this, they changed that. I didn't learn that until today. And there's plenty of other things that we're going to learn. But see, you other nations, you guys are stuck. You're not learning anything. You're learning how it's going to be. And you're learning how it is to be helpless. You're learning how it is to see it when the Most High has turned his back on you. That is what you are learning. You're learning to see the true people of the book rise in front of your faces and then tell you the truth. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. All praise is Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledge Yahweh Shai. Shalom.